Welcome back to It's a Long Way Through. Today I'm going to talk to you about being a responsible dog owner. Obviously having kids is the ultimate responsibility in this world, at least in my opinion. I'm a father of two daughters that are grown now. But having a dog is a lot of responsibility, and I just had a little bit of a possible run-in that could be bad. So I just assumed that the neighbors, the people that own the campground that I stay at, and that's in another video. Right now at this time in my life, I just completed a full season of staying in the campground, a seasonal site with my camper. But I just went up to go throw something in the dryer before Odin and I head out for an errand. And the neighbor, the owner of the campground, the wife was just getting out. As I was exiting, taking care of my business, Odin and I, she was just exiting with her husky, who's a beautiful boy. His name's Milo. He's a great boy. But he's a little bit of alpha, and Odin is too, definitely. And I think they'd probably be fine, at least on Odin's part. But she isn't so sure. And I immediately, as soon as I realized she was there, she freaked out a little bit, and I just U-turned and went right back into the room where the washer and dryer was in. And of course we talked, and she got him upstairs, and everything was fine. I apologized. Not that I needed to apologize, because ultimately it's their responsibility to make sure their dog's on leash. Odin was on leash. Okay, and I'm not blaming them. Okay, this is it right now. The campground's pretty much empty. It's just me and a couple of others, and I think I'm the only one with a dog up there right now. And these things happen. But I should have thought about it. I should have probably maybe sent a text over to Patty and said, "Hey, just so you know, I'm taking Odin for a quick walk. I'm gonna head up to the laundry room." Yeah, is that a little bit of an inconvenience? Yeah. Do I necessarily have to do that? No. But I definitely would not want Odin or any other dogs to get into any kind of scrap, because that's a scary situation for a lot of people. If you've ever been into a fight where a dog's really going at it. Now, some people in my opinion, get freaked out just about dogs making sure who's the dominant one. Dogs will get into it a little bit. There's no blood or anything like that. That's one thing. But I mean a really full-blown dog fight. It's pretty scary stuff. And it's not something for the lighthearted. And I would argue if it doesn't bother you, there's something wrong with you. But that's my opinion. But yeah, responsibility. And this goes back to, I always circle back to growing up in the 70s and 80s. We were taught that at the end of the day, the buck stops with you, with me personally, on things. And yes, sometimes there are cases where there are other factors involved, and it's not necessarily, other parties could have done a better job of, doing this or that. But we need to take responsibility for our own actions and our responsibilities, and Odin's my responsibility, and I want to be respectful at the same time of other people and try to go the extra mile. And I guess that's where I'm kind of going. If we all would take the time to slow down sometimes and not just think about ourselves and think that we have a right to do this, right to do that, and take into consideration, especially when we live in a neighborhood or we're part of a community, when we slow down and take that extra time, neighbors walking, to acknowledge and show respect to other people and try to tread lightly. I think that goes a long way, and we're missing a ton of that in this day and age. We really are. I really truly believe that. And I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. I know there's many times throughout my life I should have done a better job of thinking of other people, the community that I live in, how my actions reflect and what kind of things they do for other people. And in this case, going back to Odin, this could have been a bad situation. Again, I don't think it could have been, but I can't speak. I've known Milo, their dog, for a long time now. It's been years I've had a camp up here. And he seems like a sweet boy, but I've never seen him interact with any other dogs. And she has a little bit of a hesitancy on that. And you know what? She knows her dog much better than I do. And we all have to remember that too. I think I'm going to segue a little bit off here. I see too many people, because dogs are so much part of our lives now, especially compared to the 70s and 80s when our dogs stayed home for the most part. A lot of cases, they weren't such a big part of the family. I'm not saying we didn't love our dogs, but they weren't as big a part as the families they are nowadays. But I lost my train of thought. Making sure that we just keep our dogs safe and be people approaching other people's dogs with very little thought about, hey, what if that, or generally for the most part I have a lot of people ask me before they approach, but sometimes they don't. And folks, be careful. I would hope that most dogs, and at least in my experience, are very friendly, and generally people don't have dogs that have issues out in public. And if they do, they'll let you know. But you just never know. Hey, listen, a dog could have been just freaked out about something. You didn't even know it. This could be a dog that's very calm normally. In this case, Odin got a little freaked out when all of a sudden he could tell I was freaked. I did a U-turn, went back into the room, brought him in, and he actually was shaking just a little bit. I don't know if he got a whiff of Odin. He saw Patty got upset. I got upset. I mean, he was fine. He calmed right down. But there was a case where after I'd walked out and I was heading back to my camp, possibly if somebody had approached me that knew Odin, Odin's fine. I've been around him long enough now, to know he's fine. But some dogs could have been on edge. You go to pat him, and you could have freaked them out. So just all kinds of things to think about in respect to being a responsible owner of a dog, and being smart about how you interact your dog in your environment and how you handle things. So that's it. Odin, you want to say hi, buddy? Hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch up with you the next time. Take care.